Hi, this is Rachel Nolan, and this is my case study about internet use violations. So a little background on the case. Miss Tate is a second-year teacher at an affluent high school with an award-winning principal, but she is known to be very strict. She's a science teacher. She gives the kids a lot of homework. The class is hard. A lot of her students were trying to be valedictorian and are very concerned about their grades in her class. Parents have complained to the principal about this. The principal has tried to step in and give her advice, and she has not taken it. After a 3-day weekend, she comes to check her email and finds that there is a Facebook page that is harassing her. One student made a comment that said, "Who wishes Miss Tate would just disappear?" She does take that as a death threat and notifies the principal that she'll be staying at her parents' house because she's worried about her life and her well-being. The principal is going to investigate to try to find out what happened. So for what is the problem, some things we know. We know that she's highly educated, but she is a newer teacher. She's strict, her students are stressed, and the parents feel that on behalf of their students. She got an email linking her to the Facebook page where there were comments about her, harassing comments and mean comments. She tells the principal that she is scared for her life. The principal says, it's just a prank, don't worry about it, but I'll investigate. I'll print out hard copies of the comments and start interviewing. And then Miss Tate says that she thinks it's her student William, that he is good with computers, that he's always making comments about her behind her back. She knows that he doesn't like her. So the principal, Dr. Smith, plans to interview William and some other students. What do we need to know about this? Who sent the email? What email address did it come from? Was it a school email? Was it an email that can be traced back to anyone? Can the Facebook page be taken down? If we contact Facebook, and can they take it down? Can the email be traced? Or whoever made the Facebook, can that be traced? What other students have liked that Facebook page? It's probably not just one kid doing that. There might be other kids interacting with the page. And then what is the school's internet use policy? Obviously, this probably happened outside of school because it's a 3-day weekend, so what is their policy for internet use? And knowing all that, the problem I see is twofold. One, obviously, someone created a Facebook page harassing a teacher, and as the administrator, you can't allow your teachers to be harassed. But the second problem is that Miss Tate has bad rapport with her students and parents. The students are stressed, they're acting out, and she doesn't seem to be taking any steps to rectify that. So my plan of action first is to contact the district. If this does get worse, even if we can't take down the page, if another one pops up, or it does escalate, they really need to know what's going on. And the district can help get in touch with the technology coordinator. I would want to talk to the technology coordinator and have them take part of this, see if they can trace the email, trace the Facebook page, get it taken down, deal with that. I would then, probably at the same time, honestly, ensure that Miss Tate has access to help or support that she needs. She's clearly razzled by this, and she needs someone to talk to. She needs to know that she's safe at school and safe with her students. I wouldn't want her to start taking anything out on William or any other students, but I want her to feel comfortable at school, and so putting her in touch with the school counselors or making her aware of what her insurance covers for seeing psychologists, anything like that. Really, we need to take care of the teacher. Third, I would interview William and some other students about what's going on in Miss Tate's class. Kind of start with, hey, tell me about how things are going in that class. What do kids say about Miss Tate? And then lead into the conversation about the Facebook page. I would also notify any parents of students that I'm interviewing so they're aware that their students are being asked about this. And if I can identify a culprit, I would deliver a consequence that was consistent with our school discipline plan and any internet use policy that was in place. If I could not identify a culprit, obviously I'm not going to punish any students without evidence. And so it might end there if all the students deny it. Finally, I would come to Miss Tate's classes. I would first remind them of the school's internet use policy, do a mini lesson maybe on what is responsible behavior online. I, as the principal, would want to do that myself or delegate it to an assistant principal, but I wouldn't want Miss Tate to do it herself because I want the students to know that this is a serious situation. I would also do more drop-in observations and help Miss Tate with her classroom management because clearly there's something wrong that these kids are feeling the need to act out and say mean things about her online. And she's only a second-year teacher, so she's not set in her ways. She just needs help. I would also try to get Miss Tate a peer mentor, maybe another science teacher that she could plan with, compare her workload or her homework to another teacher's, make sure that she is on the same page as the other teachers in terms of rigor and workload. And I might enroll her in some PD about STEM education to get her excited about what are some ways that we can have fun in STEM, and make sure that we are not overloading our students. I'm a science teacher myself, so I know that there are ways to keep a rigorous curriculum but not overwhelm the students. So my resolution of issues based on what's best for all students, I think by getting that Facebook page taken down right away and attempting to find the student responsible, I'm sending the message to these kids that online harassment is not okay and not going to be tolerated. I also notified parents and re-educated Miss Tate's class about the internet use policy, so that the kids know boundaries. Students of all ages really respond well to boundaries. They want to know what the boundaries are and what happens if they cross them, and so they really just need to be reminded of that. But then finally getting more involved in Miss Tate's class, and helping her in her teaching practice is going to promote the academic success of those students. We can lighten the stress on them. It's going to help their mental health, it's going to help their academics, and it's going to help her form better relationships with her students. So what was I thinking, feeling, and valuing? I was thinking that as a teacher, I would be so sad to find a page like that students were saying mean things about me. As teachers, we know that we are not friends with our students, but we still want to be liked. And I can't imagine how that would feel to find a whole page dedicated to your students' dislike of you. I was also thinking that she was overreacting a bit, thinking her life was threatened by high school students. I know now that high school students do sometimes act out and act out violently, but in this case, I do think she was overreacting. But I was feeling sorry for students in her class having to deal with such a heavy workload. I am a proponent of no homework, especially in science, because I know they have math and English and so many other things to do, sports. And so I was feeling sorry for the students and kind of understanding where they are coming from. But I was valuing also the emotional well-being of all parties involved, so Miss Tate, and her students and their parents. What issues are still unresolved? She might not change the way she runs her classroom, even with a peer mentor and PD. Maybe this is just how she is as a teacher, and so that might not change at all. We may not have caught the person responsible. Like I said, I wasn't going to punish anyone without evidence or a confession, so that may not be resolved at all. And students are likely going to continue to say mean things about Miss Tate and other teachers. It's high school. They are like that. That's probably not going to be fixed no matter how much we tell them to be nice. So Standard 5 is an education leader at the building level, applies knowledge that promotes the success of every student by acting with integrity, fairness, and in an ethical manner. So how did I promote success by acting with integrity? So I held the responsible students accountable if I found who was responsible, which teaches a lesson about appropriate online behavior. I also made sure Miss Tate's classes know the internet use policy and know their boundaries. And I provided Miss Tate with both emotional support and professional development so she can be a more effective teacher. How did I promote the success of every student by acting with fairness? I didn't place initial blame on any one student. I know Miss Tate thought it was William, but I'm not going to jump to conclusions. I interviewed William and other students, and they know that the administration now is fair, that they didn't jump to the one troublemaker in class to blame. I also didn't place blame on Miss Tate. I offered her support and additional PD because I don't place blame on her, nor do I really place blame on her students if there is this relationship between her and them that is broken. And so I didn't let the situation with her classroom management go unaddressed either. And then I disciplined the student responsible, again, if I found them, um, according to the school discipline policy. So it's not like I was acting with anger or malice towards the student. And then finally, how did I promote the success of every student by acting in an ethical manner? I let the district officials know of the situation at the outset, so in case it got worse, they are prepared. I also kept parents informed so they know that the school is being transparent. We're not trying to hide anything. We want them to know anytime their students are questioned about something serious like this. And I didn't punish any students without evidence or a confession because why would I? I definitely can't punish a student unless I'm sure that they did something wrong. And so that is how I would handle this as a building administrator. Hopefully everything would work out okay in this case. Again, there's a lot of contingencies, whether we find the student responsible or not, whether Facebook can take the page down. But I think I handled this fairly well and appropriately. Thank you.